Hey everybody, Dylan Garland here, and this is going to be a very, very important video regarding the Rue Morgue Face of Halloween contest that I am currently taking part of. And before we jump into the bulk of what this video is going to be about, I'm going to request one thing. This is the big favor I'm going to ask you in terms of this video. Watch until the end. Consider the things that I talk about in this and see if maybe there's a way that you can help me out. This isn't a desperate plea by any means, but it is a reflective run, understanding what we're doing and seeing what we can do to maybe make this happen. Because if we won, it would be a dream scenario, to put it lightly. So let's jump into this. I am right now, as many of you may know because I'm posting about it nonstop, as well as I have the Perry Dahlia web series that I've been working on and posting kind of to help promote it. But I am taking part of Rue Morgue's Face of Halloween contest this year. And if that sounds familiar, it's because last year I took part in their Face of Horror contest. They've since rebranded. The basic idea of this contest is as such. You go through a couple of rounds, quite a few rounds actually, that we learned last year, where you vote to keep in the top 20 and then the top 15 and then the top 10 and so on and so forth. So there are multiple rounds in this, but the winner at the very end, whoever is at the top of the mountain of the Face of Halloween, wins three pretty massive things, in my opinion. They're just massive. My opinion doesn't matter. They're massive. One, you get featured in Rue Morgue's magazine, which quite frankly is a bucket list item of mine. I love this magazine. I have one somewhere that I actually had somebody, when they were visiting the States, specifically pick up for me because it featured an actor that I've worked with. But just being a part of something that has such a rich history in film and horror is huge. And I'd love to be a part of that history in some way, especially as my film career moves into horror. We'll talk a little bit about that in a second. The other two major aspects to winning, we get to meet, if we win, Jamie Lee Curtis, Kane Hodor, and Matthew Lillard. Legends, icons, staples in the horror film genre and the history of horror. If you don't know those names, you've been living under a rock. Because I promise you, once you see, you know those names. You ever seen Halloween? You ever seen Friday the 13th? Scream? Scooby-Doo? Phenomenal movie. Then you know those names. The last thing, which is also massive, and this is kind of the main point of this video, is that the winner receives $13,000 cash, which is massive. Now, let's get into the bulk of this. You guys have been voting, and I'm currently in second place in my group. So there's multiple groups that go through each round, and then currently we're at the top 15. So the top 15 of each group will go on to the next round, and then I'm guessing it's top 10, top 5, go so on and so forth until we get into like the semifinals, quarterfinals, all that stuff. We are in a good position right now because we're in second place. Top 15, we got a good shot of moving on to the next round. However, last year, I learned a valuable lesson, and that is catching up is insanely hard. We got so close to the end of the last Face of Horror round or contest that I could damn near taste it. Like, we were in, I believe, the quarterfinals, and that night, as everybody was voting, and I was kind of Hail Marying any idea possible to get more votes, when that ended and they closed that round, listed on the website that we were in first position. We ended up not being in first position once all the votes were counted, and we got booted on that round. However, we were close. And what I realized was the biggest anxiety of this contest and the biggest hurdle that we need to get over is getting to that first position and trying to hold on to it. Because the bouncing back and forth between first and second is what killed us last time. Not to anybody's fault, because you guys took me, thankfully and humbly, to so close to that end that I can't even believe it. In hindsight, I can't believe we made it that far. I'm so grateful that we did because, you know, you guys made that happen. And the support was just so refreshing for a filmmaker who is admittedly kind of floating right now, trying to figure out what is going on in my life and my career when it comes to being a film director. So here's where I get a little bit not desperate, not begging, but honest. I think we can do this. I genuinely believe that this is something that is possible. But what it's going to take is a lot of teamwork. And I know that alone, I'm asking so much of all of you. But for the next month and a half or however long this contest is going, I, Dylan Garland, would like to ask everyone a massive favor. Share this video, share the contest, tell everybody you know with a Facebook account, because you have to confirm through Facebook to vote. Let them know what's going on and let them know what this is about. This contest is it's a dream scenario in a lot of ways, but it's also, oddly enough and unfortunately, one of the few ways that I'd be able to fund the film that I want to make. Film funding, especially for short films and films that don't go through like a program or something like that, are so incredibly hard to fund. Finding money right now for films, especially of this type, a genre film that is a short that I would like to put out in the world, is damn near impossible if you're not in the right, circles, or you're not in the right programs and all of that. It is really bad right now with finding funding. And in the olden days meaning 10 years ago, I'm 32, I'm not that old, I gotta stop saying that. But a little while ago, it was a lot easier and a lot more plausible to say, hey, I'm gonna fund this myself. I'm gonna put my own money in, and I'm gonna, do this short or do this feature, whatever. I did that 11 years ago with Afraid to Speak. We did a little bit of crowdfunding, and we used that money to pay some actors and all of that. But the majority of the time and all that labor was me putting my own time and labor into it. And over the years, I've made some projects where I self-funded, and it's just not something that is plausible right now because of the way the world works. We are all stretched thin. Our wallets are thinner than ever. Everything costs so much money, and everything just beeping sucks right now. So to be able to put a couple $1,000s into a film, it's just not feasible. It's not something that I could put myself into bankruptcy for. But through the Face of Halloween contest, there is a legitimate chance to utilize that money, which is my plan if we win, to make a short horror film that could be that bridge. Now, this isn't the reason that I'm making the short horror film, because I think short films should be short films, and I think we've gotten to a point where a lot of short films are basically, hey, here's a commercial for a bigger film I want to make, but I think short films are important as well, so let's treat them as their own film and not just a commercial. But truthfully, I feel like the film that I want to make through this could be something that could really open a lot of doors for me as a filmmaker, and maybe get me to that point of being able to have those meetings with the bigger production companies, the bigger distributors, and stuff like that, to be able to one day make feature-length horror films, which, as of right now in my career, is the goal. I've fallen in love with horror since a young age, and I've realized that the one genre that really speaks to me the most is horror. So sharing, huge. Facebook, huge. Twitter, Instagram, all that stuff is very big. But what I'd also like to do, and when I say this, I just want to clarify, I'm not relying on you guys to do all the hard work. I'm also going to be reaching out. Today I'm doing a ton of cold calls to people, the connections I've made over the years and the connections I haven't made yet when it comes to, traditional media, radio, newspaper, all that stuff. I'm going to be reaching out quite a bit because I think that is a huge part of this that I didn't do last year. I focused solely on social media, which has its limits. I think we all know that. But if you have, say, a podcast, a radio show, interview show, a YouTube channel, a Twitch channel, anything like that you think I could fit on for an interview or a guest spot or anything like that, I'm available and I'm ready. I love talking about film. I love talking about horror. I love talking about kind of anything to do with that realm. And I am willing to meet you wherever, no matter the time, no matter the place, and to make this happen. To hopefully get more eyeballs that wouldn't necessarily see it through Facebook or Instagram and all that stuff, to see what we're trying to do here and to see, can we get to that number one spot? And then can we play defense for the rest of this instead of playing so much offense, which I think is going to be quite frankly, the turning point in this is if we can get to that spot and we can maintain that first position. I genuinely want to say from the bottom of my heart, I appreciate everything you guys have done so far. The sharing of Periodalia, which has been such a blast to make, breaking a little bit of the fourth wall. It is this short series, web series that has been kind of in a lot of ways equal parts fiction, equal parts nonfiction for me. I wanted to present a story that was about a filmmaker played by me, also is me in a lot of ways, in most ways, going through his life through images that he shot for 20 years and seeing, hey, where did the spark go? What happened? And can we find it again? It's been a blast doing that. And thank you all for sharing that. To everybody who's been sharing the little pictures I've been making with the Face Halloween logo and all that, you've put me in a really comfortable position in that second place, to which I'm not worried about these first few rounds because I think we've got it pretty much in lock. Now, anything can happen and it can come out of nowhere and then we're screwed. But I think we're in a good position to make it quite far in this already. However, let's take it that one step further. Let's see if we can't win this whole damn thing. And let's see if we can, sooner rather than later, climb that mountain, get ourselves into the first position, and then just, build up a defensive position and keep us in that spot. Because this, admittedly, would be probably that game-changing moment for me as a filmmaker who's been doing this professionally for 15 years, who personally, and this is a little really personal and coming from deep within, lately I've felt like I'm one right move away from cracking this open. And if I'm being frank, this could be that moment. And I don't know. I think we can do it. I genuinely do. So I have rambled on for a little too long here. I was hoping this would be like a 5-minute video, but as I look at my screen, it's 13 minutes. Whoops. I tend to talk a lot, but I will end it off there. But again, the kind of core part of this, the takeaway, is please share the link that I've put in this video. Share everything that I post about the Face of Halloween. If you can, share Periodalia, which is also kind of a subset of this contest in a way. And if you have anybody or know of anybody, or if you have these programs yourself, podcasts, shows, anything, and you're looking for a guest and you think I can fit that, I could talk about paranormal, film, horror, anything and everything under the sun. I am so up for being a part of that, and I'd love to be considered for stuff like that. Yeah. I think that'll be it for this one. So thank you, everybody. I very much appreciate it. This has been already such a journey, and we're only in round 2. We have a long way to go, but I feel it. It's really the only way I can put it. I feel like it's possible. So let's see if we can't do this. Thank you, everybody. Again, I appreciate all the support. It has been such an honor kind of experiencing this, and I'm excited to see what happens next in this journey that is known as Rue Morgue's Face of Horror. We will see you very soon. And remember, that dark corner in your room, there's probably something watching you from there. I'm sorry. I've just been through too much paranormal experience to lie to you. We'll see you very soon. And thank you again, everybody.